Welcome back to another video. You're currently watching Road 36 to Infinity, and my name is Kaide. As usual, I'm gonna take you through the 2 weeks that have been. I wanna briefly just mention what is Leviathan Flow, because that is something I've been mentioning a lot and something that is a big part of this practice that I'm doing. And then I have a question regarding things I could share in the future. So let's just jump straight into it. The first week, made my way down to Malmö. It was the Malmö Dance Week, which is a week of workshops, performances, panel talks, and it finishes off with Hip Hop Weekend, which is a battle, and it's a 2 versus 2 battle. Oh, and of course, clubs during this week. Cannot forget. During this week, I went to a total of 7 performances. And what's good to know is that all the performances during this week is strictly connected to street dance. And having seen these now 7 performances really gave me a lot of thoughts and inspiration to work with my own piece, with my own solo performance that for people that followed me in last year's Road to Infinity, I created a solo, and it's still something I want to work with more. So by watching all these performances, it stimulates me creatively because I see different ideas people try out. It can be, how they use lights, the space, composition, how they place themselves with the audience, props, scenography, everything within a performance that you can tweak to enhance whatever you want to share. During the week, I also took one workshop, which was from Tony McGregor, and it's always a pleasure to learn from this man who is a very impressive physical example. Having these people that pretty much laid the foundation for the style, the form, the dance that I practice or I dance and I dedicate my time to, it's amazing to see them still busy at work. Most of them hitting, past their 50s now, and to still be so impressive. I feel that having figures like this is important to break this image of that there's a certain time limit for what we're doing. Because when I started dancing, I know that that was a lot of the concerns or the questions, the doubts that people in my surrounding would have. Like, so you're dancing now, but what will you do after? Because, you can't do that forever, right? I'm at this point in time, at, age, but if they're at that age and still, pushing, I got time. And it's like, it's important to not feel you're working within a certain deadline, like a expiration date. So Tony McGregor, super impressive. And I'm always grateful for the content. Every workshop is literally him just throwing things at you because he wants you to get the most out of his time. Next, during this week, which was the main reason I went to Malmö, was Hip Hop Weekend. Like I mentioned before, being a battle and a 2 versus 2. If you haven't been to Hip Hop Weekend yet, and you haven't had a reason to go to Sweden yet, this is for sure one. So mark it in your calendar. Next year, I entered Hip Hop 2 versus 2 with my bro Mackie, so my crewmate, my Yeko, and unfortunately, we didn't pass pre-selections, but it's always a pleasure to share with this guy and always inspiring, and we're so motivated to do things together. So, we go back to practice, and we will have our time, that I'm sure of. I also entered House 2 versus 2 with my bro Aru. Aru and I haven't battled together for like 2 years because this guy, been busy working with different companies, dance companies, and we made it through the house pre-selection. Unfortunately, we lost in the quarterfinals, but it was a pleasure to have our battle be up against Troy and Frankie J, that boy Troy and Frankie J. When you do these competitions for like a long time and you start to make connections within the dance scene, for me, the approach within a battle changes, where it's no longer just an opponent, it's just people that you know and that inspire you and helps me elevate to keep pushing. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have those moments. But, so we did lose in the quarterfinal, and after this battle, I felt a level of disappointment that I haven't felt in a long time. And the disappointment wasn't necessarily in the fact that we lost, because the outcome being decided by a panel who then share their expertise and vote for whoever they thought performed better. So this is an outcome that is out of my control, but what is within my control is my performance, how well I perform. This time I was so disappointed with myself and my performance, because I felt for the first time, it was so clear that I wasn't present in that moment. The first round was that boy Troy, and then the one that went after was Aru. Very nice exchange, it was very beautiful to see. And then next up was Frankie J, and then it was gonna be me. At this point, for some reason, even though it was two friends that was on the other side of us, but instead of really absorbing Frankie, you know, do his thing, and then to walk in and to respond and to really have a conversation, I was too focused on what was on the outcome, like really wanting to win, really wanting to go on to the next phase and really to get to dance more with Aru. I felt like a lot of responsibility to like really had to perform well. And I was so busy with that I missed out on the opportunity to really exchange with Frankie. That was something I really understood when I then watched the final battle within the house, which was that boy Troy and Frankie J versus Hitesh and Jevin. Being there on the stage with them and watching that battle up close, it became so clear what I was missing out on. When I saw them battle, it was literally, handing over that whatever they were building up, handing it over to the next person and handing it over back and forth. And I saw them smiling, and I could feel enjoyment. I mean, I was smiling just by watching, but this really added on to the full picture of the feeling of disappointment I had from the quarterfinal. Yes, it is a battle, competition, things are at stake, but still, to not forget the fun aspect of it and to not miss out on conversations, because competitions is a moment where this dialogue can elevate each other, to bring out the best in each other. And when a person then starts off the round and says something and leaves it on the dance floor, it is up to you, whoever goes second, to like take that, you said this, let me up that, or let me respond to that. It's a dialogue. It's not us solo, and then a decision being made. I feel like that's the worst scenario. Whatever that I felt during Hip Hop Weekend needed to be felt, needed to just have that reminder that even if it's a competition, to not forget and miss out on the moment. Generally a life lesson. However, I take that with me, and now I look forward to the next event. Cannot forget, the Hip Hop Weekend after party was something else. Of course, I would want to tell you to don't make sure not to miss out next year, but this moment was this moment. We can just hope that, next year's after party will be equally as good. Hip Hop Weekend as a whole, super nice event. It's in a super nice city, I can definitely recommend. After Malmö, my next stop was Stockholm, because I was meant to teach. I really had a good time, honestly. My main purpose with what I wanted to share was Leviathan flow. It's something that is very present, it's my daily practice. It's what I've been working on since I started Road to Infinity. It was just a pleasure to be there and to be able to share something that is so personal to me. Very happy with the outcome. So first up was Gatuverket. So it was nice to see familiar and unfamiliar faces and to just take them through my practice. My other place that I got to teach was Scandinavian Dance Academy. This was very interesting because as I stepped in for my first class, they made it very clear to me that they had been watching these videos, these Road to Infinity, and it's the first time that I have that I enter a space where most of the people had seen my videos. And I thank you all, have taken your time to watch these. So thank you, Scandinavian Dance Academy. And the third and last place I taught was at Ballet Academy. Also was a very positive experience. It was a big group. I think I'm riding on the joy, on the fact that I can share with so many people. So to all the places, Gatuverket, Scandinavian Dance Academy, Ballet Academy, thank you for having me, and thank you for being so open-minded and for receiving my little Leviathan Flow practice, and I hope that is useful to you. Next, what I wanted to talk about is Leviathan Flow. I've been mentioning it quite a few times now, only in this video, but overall, within Road 35, Road 36 to Infinity, I've been mentioning it, something that's been developing consciously, is something that's been developed for like a year now, but it did start a little bit before that. What is Leviathan Flow? Leviathan Flow is basically an improvisational tool. So it's something I'm using to become more comfortable within improvisation, within freestyle. And I do so by making use of circular movements and waves. So circles and waves are these two qualities that I make use of in order to find fluency in my movement, but also as a way to involve the entire body. So the idea with Leviathan Flow is to get more free within improvisation. Just knowing how your body works to open up more possibilities that you can interact with. And within Leviathan Flow, I have something that I call for the Leviathan breath. When I stand still in movement, when I don't move, there's always still movement within me, which is my breath. And I wanted to translate this idea into movement, into my improvisation, where I'm inviting my body to enter a state where it's always in constant movement. That is all the way from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet and out into your fingertips, to just really make sure that the body is participating in everything that you're doing. And it's also a practice that invites me to be present in the moment, because there's so much that is happening and I just want to be there. And with the help of this breath that I mentioned, that consists of circles and waves, this breath is then later your base in your movement, and that anything that has to do with space and levels are just extension of this breath. What I'm also aiming to do with Leviathan Flow is to not separate your stand-up dance with your floor work. That is in short what Leviathan Flow is, and something that is currently really being worked on and developed. For each time I jump into my practice, it's an opportunity for me to continue expanding on it, and also for each time I get the opportunity to share it with people, it's another moment of making things clearer, refining. It gives you a bit of an idea of what it is, and hopefully I am also able to show you visually how I'm working with this. As you're following me on this path, it's a lot of you joining in. I'm sharing as much as I can, but I feel like I want to give more, and so I have a question. what kind of sharing would you be interested in? So on my Instagram, a while back, uploaded a type of tutorial. And then not too long ago, I did daily tasks for the 365-day house dance challenge that is organized by Snow. So I have this tutorial where it's mostly just very, very short and instructive through text. And then I had these tasks that also are relatively short, but instructed through, me speaking. And I wanted to share one of those tasks at the end of this video for you to, as a thanks for you watching Road to Infinity, and for you to also let me know if it's something that you would be interested to see more of at the end of these videos as a little bonus treat. If so, let me know in the comments below. And that's basically it. This is the whole video of this week. Next week is another video of the art of practice. I hope you are enjoying those as well. If you have any thoughts, questions, anything you would like me to bring up, whether it's within my vlog or within the art of practice videos, let me know in the comments below. Any input or feedback from you, I would appreciate a lot. Because I do enjoy this. I do enjoy this a lot, not only for the sake of the sharing, but also for me, because it forces me to have a certain organization that I'm appreciating, and it keeps me motivated to continue and stay consistent, remain accountable for all these goals I've set for myself and for the things I'm sharing. Let's continue this. Let's see what our true potential is. And I really hope that you're still enjoying your practice. And with that said, I'll see you in the next video. Today's task is circles. The way I like to demonstrate this is by you using your hand. You can use your finger. You have 3 planes that this finger can travel in: table, door, and wheel. Those are the 3 that you're going to be traveling with, and you can decide to focus on one or travel between them. So you go from one to the other, and like so. And what you're slowly getting is to go from a circle to a sphere. I want you to be very specific and very clear with these 3 directions. And then I want you to apply that to your head, your chest, and your hips. So that's the task for today. You can either stay in one body part and just dance here, and then slowly add the feet. And then you can travel on to the next part, the chest, and the next part, the hips. And then you can start playing by allowing this to travel to the different head, chest, and hips.